Loyalty is essential until it isn't. Consider the person you trusted the most. Suddenly, the person who has stood by you through all of your victories, scandals, and sorrows becomes someone who stabs you in the heart. The plot is more than just a Hollywood thriller. This amazing reality is currently shaking the streets of Atlanta. We are talking about the last betrayal between two of the most well-known and intimate friends in the industry, Tiny Harris and Shekinah Jo Anderson. For years, they couldn't be separated. Small was in They were the perfect example of ride or die. But today the ride crashed, and the dice are starting to roll. The two reportedly got into a furious physical brawl, and you'll be dumbfounded by the explanation. Tiny Harris allegedly attacked Shekinah after discovering the ultimate taboo. Reports state that Shekinah has been seeing Tiny's husband, the well-known rapper T. Is it not credible? The woman Tiny accepted into her home, business, and inner circle is now accused of being a homewrecker. Was the family scam a hoax? Is T really going out with his wife's best friend, or is this a calculated attempt to ruin a legacy? We are exploring the details of that fateful night that were revealed in this movie. We'll analyze the eyewitness accounts of the hair-pulling altercation, the enigmatic social media dispute that has everyone taking sides, and the alleged secret messages that ignited the fire. This is not just a battle, it is the end of an era. Grab some popcorn since the drink is not just hot but burning. Was it a moment of weakness, or was it a long-term affair hidden in plain sight? Let's look at the intricate details of the Harris v. In order to comprehend how we got into a violent confrontation in the center of Atlanta, Shekinah conflict, we have a long way to go back. Tiny Harris and Shekinah Jo Anderson were more than just business partners. They were branded. When Tiny launched her reality TV empire with T-Tiny, the family business, Shekinah wasn't just a guest star. She was essential to the humorous relief. She was the noisy, unapologetic ride-or-die hairstylist who supported Tiny when the world was coming for her. Shekinah regularly defended T and Tiny's marriage in the face of every adultery rumor that surfaced on blogs. In addition to traveling and taking vacations together, as the saying goes, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. The cracks did not appear immediately. Over the past year, insiders have seen a shift. Shekinah, once Tiny's shadow, started to appear where T was, but Tiny wasn't. We're talking about late-night studio sessions where a hairstyle wasn't the primary need. In the VIP sections of clubs where Tiny was noticeably absent, Shekinah was present, laughing a little too loudly at tips, quips. Social media users were the first to begin talking. Admirers noted that the frequent bestie posts had stopped. The tributes to birthdays are over. My sister's captions are no longer something I love. Instead, Tiny began reciting enigmatic proverbs about grass snakes and how the first person to bite your fingers is the one you feed. At the time, we thought it was just a standard industrial shade. We had no idea that the snake was lying in the guest room. According to people close to the Harris family, Tiny's alleged gadget access was the turning point. According to some, T.I.'s communications were synchronized using an antiquated iPad. According to some, it was a burner phone that was stashed in a coat pocket. What she found wasn't a single mistake. The reports claim that Shekinah and T.I. spoke for months. Reports state that the conversations were more than just lighthearted banter. They portrayed a life that should have been reserved for a wife, one of secrecy. Intimate dinners, carefully thought-out vacations, and emotional support. Tiny's feelings went beyond her husband's adultery. She seemed to have been wiped by her best buddy. A spouse's betrayal is a hurt, but a sister's betrayal is a permanent scar. Shekinah allegedly used the roadmap that Tiny shared with her regarding her biggest marital anxieties in order to get closer to T. Now let's talk about that awful night. The two women reportedly met at a high-end private event in Atlanta. The atmosphere was already tense. Tiny was obviously already tense after considering the evidence she had gathered for days. At last, the dam broke when Shekinah came in, purportedly pretending nothing was wrong and perhaps even making an effort to welcome Tiny with her usual bluster. Witnesses said that Tiny didn't wait for an explanation. She had no desire to sit down or engage in conversation. She went straight for the jugular. Reports state that Tiny went inside Shekinah's personal area and asked one disturbing question: "How long have you been dating my husband?" The room was silent. Shekinah, who has a loud voice and a harsh tongue, reportedly tried to shrug it off by calling Tiny insane and neurotic. But it was that rejection that set the petrol on fire. Tiny, who has maintained a sophisticated lady of the home persona for years, reportedly lost it. It was not just a slap. Witnesses described it as a full-fledged outpouring of years of suppressed hurt. Tiny reportedly sprang for Shekinah, and the two became a flurry of expensive lace fronts and elegant attire. 3 seconds into a simulated argument on reality TV, security failed to step in. This was harsh, personal, and unfiltered. Witnesses claim that while Tiny was shouting about fidelity and the house she built, Shekinah was retaliating by allegedly uttering obscenities about her own weaknesses and the status of her marriage. Several large men pulled Tiny off, but while they were separated, the damage had already been done. The veil of friendship was torn apart, and the secret that had been spoken in the dark was now shouting in the light. Before being ejected from the property after the altercation was broken up, Shekinah allegedly caused a commotion in the parking lot by claiming that she didn't need Tiny and that Tip knew where to locate me. However, Tiny was reportedly seen getting comfort from her inner group and seemed more upset than angry. Where was T during all of this? Is what everyone wants to know. Tip apparently didn't show up for the party, but he received a call a short while later. The effects were immediately felt. Blocks were occurring on Instagram within hours. Pictures were being deleted. The family hustling era did not end overnight. It caught fire, but the mayhem is only beginning. While Tiny was dealing with the acute agony of the physical altercation, the receipts were only starting to leak. A pattern emerged when individuals began investigating. Shekinah's earlier comments on T. Was there only one white woman involved? Had Shekinah spent years getting ready to take Tiny's place? In the part that follows, we will look at the evidence. We'll look at the specific dates that T and Shekinah were allegedly spotted together, the reaction of the other Harris children, who effectively viewed Shekinah as an aunt, and how T seems to be trying to play both sides to protect his reputation. Even after the dust from the physical altercation had settled on the floor of that Atlanta club, the Harris residence was just beginning to burn down. A fight is one thing, but an outburst of unbridled anger is quite another. What follows, though, is the harsh reality of the why. As Tiny sat in her car, seemingly upset and crying, the realization hit her. This was not a coincidental meeting. This was a purposeful infiltration. To understand the scope of this alleged affair between T and Shekinah, we need to look at the timeline. For months, fans have been speculating about Shekinah's unanticipated transformation and independent way of life. Where did the money come from? Shekinah is a talented stylist. Yes, but her lifestyle started to resemble that of a first lady. Rumor had it that T and Shekinah met for business in places where Tiny wasn't present. We are talking about staying in opulent villas in Miami, Los Angeles, and the Caribbean. Branding or content creation was always claimed as a justification at the time, but Tiny's allegedly found receipts proved otherwise. We are talking about aircraft, manifests with Shekinah's name next to Clifford Harris's. We are talking about jewelry that was bought from high-end Atlanta jewelers but never made it into Tiny's jewelry box. The alleged security footage from a boutique hotel in Buckhead was the most devastating proof. Sources claim that the footage shows T and Shekinah entering through a side door, looking like a couple trying to evade paparazzi photos. When Tiny saw this, she experienced more than just anger. It was a total breakdown of reality. This was her sister, who helped her raise her kids while allegedly playing home with her husband in the same city. This circumstance is incredibly awful because of more than just the marriage. The children are to blame. The Harris family is big and tight-knit. Zonique King Major and Aries reared Shekinah at the house. Miss Shekinah had changed. Her name was Aunt Shekinah. She was present at birthday parties, graduations, and holiday dinners. Word of the quarrel and the alleged affair supposedly caused an explosive reaction in the family group chat. Imagine being one of the Harris kids and finding out that your mother might be crying in the middle of the night because of the aunt you trusted. Sources claim that King Harris, who is renowned for being outspoken, was particularly incensed. Sources claim that during an enraged phone call between King and T, the young musician asked how his father could have brought such a disaster into their home. Tiny has always kept the family buzzed. This wasn't a video woman or a random fan in a hotel room. This individual was an insider. The betrayal, which reached far into their family tree, rocked the basis of all they had built for the cameras. Where was the King of the South now, while his wife and best friend were ruining each other? At first, T went into radio silence. No Instagram updates, no advice, and no philosophical proverbs about fidelity. But when the rumors spread, his damage control team went into overdrive. Insiders said that T first tried to defuse the situation by telling Tiny that Shekinah was just a loyal soldier helping him with business and that she was exaggerating. A woman with the receipts, however, cannot be tricked. When the commercial explanations failed, Tip allegedly focused on Shekinah in an effort to reassure her. But Shekinah is not a reserved individual. She is the successful local girl, and she refused to put up with Tiny's humiliation. Shekinah began using Instagram Live to share subtle hints and subtweets. She began by talking about resentful women who can't make their guys happy without naming specific individuals. Every time she pressed the Go Live button, the tension in Atlanta rose 10 degrees. She was prodding the bear, which was Tiny. The most disturbing part of it is the hypothesis that Tiny's closest friends are debating. They discovered that she was seeing other people besides T. She was allegedly trying to become Tiny. She started wearing identical hairstyles, dressing in Tiny's favorite upscale brands, and even adopting Tiny's specific interview speech pattern. It seemed as though Shekinah had spent years studying Tiny from the inside out, learning about her shortcomings, her husband's preferences, and the gaps in their marriage, only to fill them as soon as she had an opportunity. This crime was not motivated by passion. Tiny's team claimed that this was a hostile takeover. As the week progressed, the unfollowing began. Tiny removed all of Shekinah's Instagram photos. The truth will set you free. But first, it'll make you mad, Shekinah said in reaction to photos of herself that seemed unmoved. The admirers were divided. Team Tiny Camp was advocating for Shekinah's cancellation, calling her the ultimate backs. T would have strayed with anyone if he had decided to. A small but vocal Team Shekinah group retorted, at least it was with someone who actually cared about him. But the most crucial question remained. If the fight had already begun and Tiny had the receipts, what was the final blow? Because the ensuing social media feud was more than that. It was a choice that would change the Harris marriage forever. Tiny wasn't only looking for a divorce this time, she wanted justice. In the third part of our play, we will look at the legal repercussions, Shekinah's purported use of secret recordings as leverage, and Tiny's ultimatum to T. She or the Empire. As we begin the final chapter of this Atlanta tragedy, the drama has formally shifted from the dance floor to the courtroom. The physical altercation between Tiny and Shekinah wasn't the end. The business was taken aback by the beginning of a legal dispute. He claimed that in late 2025 and early 2026, whispers escalated into a high-stakes dispute involving millions of dollars, NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, and a shocking courtroom breakdown. Rumor had it that Tiny Harris didn't just walk away from the fight. She filed a massive lawsuit, but here's the twist. There were other problems in the case besides the physical altercation. It has to do with betrayal of trust and financial exploitation. Tiny's legal team claims that although Shekinah was paid by the Harris family as a stylist and consultant, she was also reportedly using the funds and access they provided her to facilitate a secret relationship with T.I. But the most explosive part of the court record was the hidden tapes. There have been speculations about a hotel recording that allegedly surfaced during the lawsuit's discovery phase. This was not just a shaky photo taken by the paparazzi. Insiders claim that the video, which was allegedly taken from a hotel in Atlanta, showed T and Shekinah in a scenario that no best friend should ever find themselves in. According to sources, when this footage was purportedly broadcast behind closed doors, Tiny had an emotional collapse. When Tiny saw the concrete proof, her 20-year romance with T ended. While Tiny dealt with the legal system, Shekinah Joe wasn't keeping silent. In a series of heartfelt, dramatic Instagram photos that have now gone viral, Shekinah started dropping her own bombs. She said that she had never provided help and that she had been the one to keep the Harris family together for years. Then came the rumor that nearly brought down the internet: the paternity claims. In late 2025, rumored DNA results that suggested T might have fathered a child with Shekinah while he was away from Tiny began to surface on gossip blogs. Shekinah made references to this in her videos, saying things like, "I know where the bodies are buried because I helped dig the holes." Even though these accusations are still unproven, and T's team has characterized them as pure fiction and clout chasing, the damage to the family hustle brand was permanent. For T, the Southern King, the public no longer saw the idealized United Harris family. He has spent years trying to position himself as a devoted family man, a community leader, and a philosopher. This controversy has been a public relations nightmare. However, with his wife and his former best friend at each other's throats, that crown is slipping. Reports state that T has been doing a heroic job of mediating between the two women, but the bridge has been seriously broken. He even reportedly offered Shekinah a payout so she would stop talking and disappear from the public spotlight, but she reportedly rejected him, claiming she wanted justice for the harm she had endured. The artist is currently at a crossroads. The Harris couple is currently engaged in a cold war. Does he stand up for the woman who is alleged to know all of his secrets, or does he back the mother of his children? Despite not having formally concluded a divorce, they seem to be living very different lives. partly due to the intricacy of their shared assets and children. Tiny has went back to her first passion, music. Shekinah has been almost excluded from the inner circle of the Great Hustle. While she has finally emerged from T's shadow, returning to the studio with Escape and focusing on her own business activities, she is no longer the go-to hairdresser for Atlanta's elite, and her relationship with Tiny has been irreversibly destroyed. Some people are only loyal as long as they need you. In an enigmatic recent post, she stated, "Everyone in the spotlight should take note of this story. Once they get what they want, they call you the villain. It proves that the people you welcome into your home and treat like family are the ones who have the most ability to destroy you." These testimonies suggest that Tiny Harris was fostering a rival while thinking she was establishing a sisterhood. The family hustle is over, but the effects won't go away for years. Will Tiny eventually depart for good? Will Shekinah provide all of the receipts that she claims to have on hand? And will T ever be able to reclaim his position as King of Atlanta? We'll see in time. There is no question about that. In the world of Atlanta royalty, loyalty is a precious resource. Once you've spent it, you can never get it back. We want to hear from you right now. After hearing about the alleged betrayal by a best friend, the secret texts, and the physical altercation, which side are you on? Do you think Tiny had a right to defend her husband and home at all costs? Or do you think Shekinah is being unfairly held responsible for what T started? Whether a friendship may ever recover from such treachery is the most crucial question of all. Or has the Harris Empire officially ended? In the space provided for comments below, explain your reasons for supporting either Team Tiny or Team Shekinah. While you're down there, remember to hit the like button and subscribe with alerts enabled if you like this in-depth look. You won't want to miss our next report because there are reports that more receipts will leak. We'll be the first to evaluate them for you. I appreciate you viewing, and remember to always keep your receipts close to your friends. We'll see you in the next